You can't learn the things you need to learn until you are just in it.
Welcome to Honest Ecommerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest E-commerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show not one, but two founders. They are coming to us from Commbi, Chris and Sarah Rhoads. Welcome to the show.
Hey Chase,
Hey.
How are you?
I am very excited. You guys are not only founders, but you're inventors and you're creators. For those that don't know, could you quickly tell us about the types of products that you're bringing to market over at Commbi?
Yeah, so we are in footwear. So we basically innovated on casual lifestyle shoes, slides, clogs, and mules. And we have an innovative way and approach to that that's patent pending that allows people to modulate the footbeds across the whole line. So it's like a capsule collection for your feet. So that's what we do at Commbi.
Very, very interesting. Now, you're going to have to kind of get into it a little more for me. So how exactly does the modulation work? What's the buying process like? Is it more difficult to buy than a normal shoe?
Great question. So let's go back a little bit. So Sarah and I, we've been married for almost 20 years now. We go way back. We met in college when we were little babies. And we've always worked together in different creative, avenues. Before this world, we were lifestyle photographers and directors for Fortune, 100, 500 companies doing their kind of ad campaigns. And you should share a little bit about your experience on set.
So we came out to LA by way of Seattle and basically to work in LA on large scale photo shoots that we were shooting for different companies. And that meant I'm on my feet all day. We're on our feet all day. I don't love wearing athletic shoes. I still have to look cute because I'm working with creative directors from London and Paris and all this kind of stuff. And I wanted to look good, but also I wanted shoes that felt really supportive. And I tried everyone in the game, all of them. I would wear my slides or my clogs to set and I would come back with a really sore back. And so Chris, I think got tired of me
The real answer too on that is Sarah was putting insoles into her open back shoes. So you would see, a great looking, shoe, but you'd see this little tongue flopping around in the back of the shoe. And as time went, we're there's got to be a better solve for this, and started to go down this.
And I think you were probably sick of me buying every single shoe brand in the game. So we started to just play with innovating and playing with what would it look like to make our ideal shoe? Well, it would be super supportive. It would be comfortable and it would be in styles that we ourselves liked. And it would be highly versatile. I hated that I would have to throw away my Uggs after a season because the shearling would go flat. I was what if we could, modulate this section and simply allow somebody to put in shearling when the seasons change, or put in a different memory foam if that's what they like, or stylistically change their shoe up without totally tossing the whole shoe. So we developed it with podiatrists. So all of the footbeds are super supportive. They have your, deep heel cup, all that kind of good stuff, but they're also in styles that are easy breezy and comfortable. So yeah, that's kind of how it sort of came to be. And we sort of started in our back studio riffing on AutoCAD, 3D printing, and literally we have no experience in shoes, but we have a lot of experience in creative stuff. And we just started messing around, really is how it began.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then just, for those of you that are watching this, or for those of you that are listening, I'll tell you what they just did. They had a product in front of them on the video, so you should check out the YouTube video. But it is modular. So the base of the slide and then the insole or the memory foam or what have you, that's the middle part, just pops in and out. Very, very easy. I think on the how it works part of your website has a GIF that kind of shows you what's going on there as well. But it's, this is an idea that when I hear it, I just go, why didn't anyone else think of this first? It's so obvious once you see it.
Thanks,
Aw.
Chase. Yeah, it was one of those things that for a good year and a half, when we were sort of researching and trying to go through this whole process, we kind of had the same thought of like, surely someone else has done this, and especially when we were going through the patent process and trademarking and all the kind of less sexy legal side of things. We kept expecting to find it, somewhere, and we really didn't. There's slightly different versions of it, but not quite what we've created. And so going through that process then of creating that a new thing was interesting from even like a supply chain perspective and manufacturing, because shoes tend to be pretty legacy. There's like a way that they've been done for a long, time. And to be like, hey, I love what you're doing here, but we want to change this one part that's kind of always been done a certain way. There was a process to get that worked out.
Absolutely. So talk me through what was the timeline from conception of this modular shoe or slide, however you want to refer to it, to like you have your first like production sample in hand?
I would say from start of like the granularity of the idea to production sample, wouldn't you say like 2 years almost?
Yeah, 2.5 years of kind of, from ideation to doing our own kind of testing of like 3D printing and being like, hey, does this even work? Is this even viable? To then some small little testing and then finding manufacturing. And then we just actually launched in August of 2024, which, is 3 months ago. So it's been a wild couple years, to say the least.
Absolutely. Let's talk about 2024 this year. Obviously, you have the sample. Well, you've had the sample, and now you're going into full production launch. Talk to me about how you kind of supported that launch. How did you try to find new customers? How are you putting it in front of new eyes?
Yeah. So, given our background in the world of photography, directing, content creation, that sort of thing, we approached this with utilizing, I'm a big fan of how, if you are going to do a pivot, utilizing your skill sets in that pivot to like serve you. And so that's what we did, is we were like, we are really accustomed to doing creative campaign work. So let's, ask our friends, can we shoot you in them? Our models that we know, that sort of thing. And people were so kind and so nice. And, we built a image library base from there. And like, we do like a Commbi journal, which features interesting people around LA, New York, friends of ours that we, that like our shoes and that we will interview. And we started just kind of from there, utilizing our previous skill set. And then there's obviously performance marketing side and the social side and all of that has supported our growth and our scaling. Because we've really been able to scale 250% growth month after month since we launched in August, which I think is really great. And
I think the biggest push is kind of between this balance of kind of brand building and performance marketing. And that's been, I think, one of the most interesting things to really unpack, because in the past we've done a lot of work on the billboard out of home level, and to learn and really study the difference of, the type of marketing for billboards and out of home and that kind of work versus, new customer performance marketing, whether it's Meta targeted ads or Google or whatever it might be. They're such different spaces. And to identify what connects with the audience in different ways has also been really, really interesting.
In kind of all of this trial and error of building and launching this brand, are there any advice or any mistakes that you made that you could share with the audience to help them potentially circumvent?
Man, what would you say? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I mean, I think having a reason why and a story behind things is really important. I think with Commbi, it was every shoe company thinks that their shoe is a little more comfortable or a little better for this reason. And for us, there's a reason why that,
it came from a place of need. It came from like, this is what I want to see. And there's got to be other people like me in the world that also want shoes like this. And sure enough, like it is a little bit of an act of faith. You have to have like such a stepping out in like extreme faith when you're like, it's an audacious thing to like do something when you haven't done it before and launch something into the world. But I do feel like when it comes from a place of real desire and want, I feel like that has served us really well. Is there anything that you would like do different though? I think I mean, honestly, maybe built up our email base in social even more beforehand, but because we wanted to have the first mover advantage in the space and no one was doing shoes like we were doing them. So we were kind of at the time a little, I don't want to say cagey about it, but probably a little more protective than we needed to be, when really, we could have probably spent that time like even building a more solid email base and that sort of thing. But I really feel like for the most part, I don't have any regrets necessarily about how we launched things.
And I think it's always putting ourselves out there more as well and sharing the story and not making it just about like, hey, cool, this is I love the fact, and I'm showing, how the footbeds can interchange, but connecting to the why and like building the brand as a whole. I think I'm always pleasantly surprised to get emails from people that connect to that or relate to that story or relate to the journey of building a new company, and kind of the humanity of it all. Yeah,
I would say, Chase, now that we're like
going around,
we're just chatting, I would say I waited to do my why, like founders video for a month and a half, mostly just because we were so busy. Like getting a business launched and off the ground is like extremely demanding, as you know. But once I did that video, it was like we, put that out into the world, and it's like we started to see real traction start and momentum. So I think what I would say to other founders is don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because it was really scary for me. But I think it's really important because people need to connect with the human behind the brand, especially when it's something like this. So, yeah.
Hey, Shopify store owners. Have you ever wondered if your store is leaving money on the table? Imagine increasing sales without spending more money on ads. Sounds too good to be true. Well, it's not. I'd like to introduce you to StoreTester. StoreTester is a done-for-you conversion rate optimization service for Shopify merchants. Could your store benefit from increased conversion rates, higher average order values, and improved revenue per visitor? StoreTester could be the perfect partner for you. From ideation to implementation, this full-service A/B testing service takes all of the guesswork out of improving Shopify stores. StoreTester does all the work for you while offering month-to-month transparent fixed pricing. It gets even better. They believe in their service so much, they're offering the first test for free for qualified merchants. Let me repeat. The first test is free for qualified merchants. Curious to see if you qualify for a free test? Reach out today. Visit StoreTester.com to schedule an intro call. That's www.StoreTester.com. Schedule an intro call today to see if you qualify for a free test. Hey everybody, today's podcast is brought to you by Intelligems, the ultimate profit optimization tool for Shopify merchants. I'm telling you this, obviously I own an agency. We use Intelligems when we're running split testing and CRO stuff for all of our clients. Are you looking to maximize your profits? Intelligems offers data-driven solutions to optimize your content, prices, discounts, and shipping rates. Join over 500 happy clients who have seen significant improvements. With Intelligems, you gain control over your e-commerce economics, boosting your profit per visitor by an astonishing 36%. But that's not all. Intelligems users report a 54.62% increase in revenue per visitor and a remarkable rise in conversion rates. How does Intelligems do it? Through a suite of tools that allows you to A/B test everything on your Shopify store, from landing pages to product prices and shipping rates. Imagine testing new layouts, offers, even a new Shopify theme with ease. We're testing a new landing page for our client on a new theme versus an old landing page on their old theme right now. Intelligems empowers you to find the perfect price point for your products and optimize your shipping strategy. But there's more. Boost your average order value with customized campaign offers and discover if your customers prefer free shipping or a lower list price. With over $100 million in incremental profit generated, they have over 1.5 billion transactions ran through their software. They have over 400 million shoppers that have gone through their test. Intelligems is not a tool, it's a game changer for your business. Are you ready to transform your Shopify store's profitability? Book a demo today at intelligems.io. Empower your brand to reach new heights. Again, that's Intelligems, giving superpowers to your customer acquisition, retention, and overall profitability. Yeah, I think that a lot of founders don't want to be the face of the brand, or I've almost seen a secondary kind of founder that's like building, like in their mind, they're building to sell the business and they haven't even sold a product yet. And they're like, I can't be the face because I have to sell this thing someday. And it's like, well, it's never going to be something to sell until you grow it. And, you know, one of the best ways to do is to put an actual person behind the message.
Yep.
And founder-led brands is not a term that I came up with. You can go Google it. It definitely works. And I think, I totally agree that like you see results when you start to put yourself out there.
Yeah. And it's scary, but I had another female founder that I talked with, pre-launch, kind of basically tell me the same thing. And she's 5 years into her company. She was like, you're going to feel a little cringe about putting yourself out there, but you just got to get past the cringe and you just got to do it. And honestly, it was sage wisdom. So I'm now saying the same.
Yeah, no, I think that you could distill a lot of the just getting started business like stuff to just people inventing reasons to get in their own way and not do the things that matter. Because at the end of the day, sell the product. What's going to sell it? Do that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And get out of my own way. And I think part of what I've loved the most about this entrepreneurial journey is actually the internal journey it is within myself to like face my fears every day. They could be simple as like, okay, I got to put myself out there. I need to like do a founder video today. And that's like something that causes resistance. But there's something that I think is really, I don't know. I've enjoyed that experience of like growing myself through doing that over and over.
Yeah, finding the resistance and like pushing into that is maybe cheesy as that sounds. I think you're right. Like we like to get in our way with different things. And these kind of enterprises always are very revealing in that. And they can be like a great mirror. And you're like, oh, I'm having resistance to this. Okay, I need to do this. Yeah. And most times it's and like that
is entrepreneurship. Yeah. It's like, find the thing you're scared of, do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always something to do, but is it the right thing to be doing? And I think that's what comes with skill of, it's learned as you kind of grow your own business or grow multiple businesses. Your second time around, it's always going to be easier.
Yeah.
But oftentimes I find that people get caught up in like the act of playing business, and like none of it's actually going to move the needle.
100%.
Totally. And you find the things that are moving the needle, and it's like there's so much to do when you're, a co-founding team and you're in startup mindset because you just wear like 14 hats, but it's like find the thing that moves the needle the most. And those are the things we try to focus on each day for ourselves. And sometimes it's hard, but most times it's pretty clear, like what's moving the needle,
Now, we talked a lot about mindset. Now, is there anything else I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate with our audience?
I would say you can't learn the things you need to learn until you are just in it. That would be my, I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but I think it actually hopefully provides a little bit of peace of mind to some people because there's a lot that we didn't know. There's still a lot we don't know. We are beginner's mind people. And I think like that's been part of our success, I would say, like just generally speaking across, our photo previous business things with We Are the Rhoads to now this, it's like always approaching everything as a learning opportunity, like whether it's a customer reaching out and saying this or that. Okay, how can we improve, how we humanize the customer service experience? Like basically, if we put on our learning caps, like I feel like it makes it way more fun. Even frustrations can be fun. But I feel like, knowing that we didn't have to know everything, I remember listening to various podcasts and being like, well, I don't understand what this is or that is. Oh no, I need to go and know all of those things before I launch this business. But you learn it when you need to learn it. You know what I mean? Like, you learn it when you are in there and you're like living it, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah. And I think I'll speak for myself, and I know you're to echo what you're saying. I'm a big data nerd. Like, I love to know data and see metrics and understand where things are moving and where things are coming from. And we joke that, I'm the head and Sarah's the heart. She's the passion behind things, and I'm the nerdy data guy in the background. And as that, I sometimes want to be able to calculate everything before it can even be calculated. And so I think what Sarah's saying to piggyback on that is the sense of like, you don't always have to have all the information. Yeah. Don't have like decision fatigue from trying to get more information or solve, as opposed to, and have that stop you from moving forward. Yeah. That's my advice to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Beginner's mind.
Absolutely. Now, if I'm listening to this podcast and I'm curious to learn more about these awesome products, these super unique products, patent pending products, where should I go? What should I do?
We are at Commbi.co. That's COMMBI.co. And then our Instagram is Commbi_official. TikTok is the same. And yeah, you can find us on all the places. So yeah. That's where we're living.
Absolutely. We'll be sure to link to that in the show notes. And I would tell everyone, go check out their Instagram. Obviously, their prior lives as photographers, definitely you can tell that they take a lot of time for the content that they've been curating for that feed. Chris and Sarah, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Chase. Appreciate it.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestycommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.